We're Robin and Steve. In the last episode, we finished crossing the Bass Strait and then island hopped to Fortiscue Bay. Now, let us take you under the water at Canoe Bay. We'd anchored nestled in behind this shipwreck. In 1955, this barge was sunk to make a breakwater. Now the structure is a scaffold with a myriad of seaweed types. Took a walk to Bivouac Bay. Then backtracked toward Fortiscue Beach. One more sunset with a view of Cape Pillar before setting off at first light around Cathedral Rock and through the infamous hole in the wall between Cape Pillar and Tasman Island. Cliffs here rise to 300 metres high. These hexagonal dolerite columns were probably formed by an underwater volcanic eruption 185 million years ago. Passing between Tasman Island and the blade of Cape Pillar is up there with one of the prettiest things I've seen. Clear skies, rising sun, and crazy shadows from beautiful rock formations. Appreciate the scale of these cliffs a little more, having done part of the Three Capes walk when we were sailing north. The hole in the wall behind us, we headed toward Port Arthur. And perhaps the same dolphins that met us as we left here, about a year ago. Back then we were in a smaller boat with a lot less experience. I wonder what the dolphins have been up to all that time. explore another beach. Then we made our way past the historic site of Port Arthur to Ladies Bay, where for the first time in a year we met with friends from home on Tasmanian soil. This is the Sands family, a family of acrobats who saw us off over a year ago. Back then we had fun building human pyramids with ourselves, but now there was a wave of COVID sweeping Tassie, so we socially distanced and snorkeled. Now we were only a day sail from seeing the familiar sights of Hobart, but we still had to sail past more capes. With more dolphins. This crazy stack of rocks is a part of Cape Hoy. We passed a few seals. Here's one, flip her up. We sailed past the Lady Nelson. No, we're not at another beach. This is our anchor. It's easy to get your bearings in Hobart, thanks to this majestic mountain that sits above it, Kununyi. So seeing this mountain again meant we were close to home, after sailing more than 6,000 nautical miles. It was weird to anchor here at Tinderbox, just a 25-minute drive from home, back in the land of fish farms. It was time to start finding some family. First stop, Snug, to see my beautiful cousins. Their animals and their garden. This is the workshop of Luna Boots. Luna can make beautiful shoes for any foot and can teach people how to make their own. We got to introduce these lovelies to our boat before heading to Barnes Bay, which was calm enough for me to do a little bit of aerials. Soon I'd be back training in the studio again, so I had to make sure I was strong. My training was interrupted by a floating chorus of swans. Clearly these birds had been fed. Don't feed the wildlife, people. Next we explored Quarantine Bay. From 1884 until 1919, this station was used to treat immigrants with typhoid and smallpox. Hang on to your old clothes because fashions go in cycles. This was big, Steve tying off in Kettering, from where we'd left over a year ago. And look how the cygnets have grown. Delicious. Next morning, my family came to meet us and meet our new boat and greet it with a sea shanty.
But to our great surprise, and
She
do it.
didn't.
What was it?
She did something.
She didn't sing to the bottom of the sea. That was it.
But it's so
She got it all right, and she didn't sink to the bottom of the sea. The sea, the sea.
She didn't sink to the bottom of the sea.
You can tell what the original.
Thanks, Dad, Trish and Heath. We were ready now to start making our way back home. We had to fill with diesel. We could have gone straight home, but no, we decided to take another excursion to the quarries on Bruny Island. These soft sandstone cliffs were a nice contrast from the dolerite giants we'd passed earlier. It's a bay rich in rays. Here's just a small sample. We were really on home turf now. Randall's Bay is where we often go for a morning walk. In the last year, we'd seen some beautiful coastlines, but our home turf is pretty gorgeous. This is the beautiful Eggs and Bacon Bay, and was our last stop before tying off on our mooring. Here it is, we're home. We'd been warned to look out for the new starboard marker, this sunken boat. Back in Cygnet, then we just had to figure out how to get home. From our boat on our mooring buoy. Our beautiful neighbours met us for breakfast and then took us home. And I'm here now, editing at this table. While we were away, the tiger snakes had returned. This is the view from the lounge room window. I'd lost some of the footage from our snorkeling trip at Eggs and Bacon Bay, just around the corner, on our way home, but I found it. Here's our last snorkeling trip of our sailing year. This is a long-snouted boarfish. So long to edit to the end of our trip that I better give you an update. We went back to work. The climbing I'd done while I was away came in handy. I got to hang out with old friends. Now we are getting our boat ready again. It's been taken out for a good scrub. It hadn't moved for a year, and the barnacles loved it. We had to register our boat to travel overseas. The name Sirena was taken, and Ricali wasn't. So Ricali it is. The corrosion of this anode is just one example of the many things that needed replacing or repairing. Some areas needed sanding and fiberglassing. Steve was here morning till night. I'd be here mornings doing some sanding and painting, and then go off to teach or practice. Sanding and anti-foul done, we were ready to go back in the water. We couldn't choose the weather the day we were put back in, but we had been wanting some practice in high winds, and we got it. So, having finally edited the footage from our recent 14-month sailing trip, we now prepare to sail again, this time across the Tasman Sea to New Zealand.